So good evening, guys. My name is Shiraz Memon, and I'm a technology consultant working for the Strategic Technical Alliances team at ServiceNow. We work very actively with AWS as an alliance partner. So many of our common customers reached out to us requesting for numerous integrations that would actually better serve their day-to-day activities, making complex processes seamlessly executed using ServiceNow's digital workflows, leaving a log trail created on the fly. So so basically, in terms of the two main kinds of requests that we get fall into the realms of visibility and control that result in an excellent experience as for a service management based application. So in terms of the alliance that we have, we're trying to marry the technologies being offered from both the companies, where processes and tools are provisioned and spun up on the AWS cloud, and then federated and governed using ServiceNow's technologies, specifically in terms of discovery, service mapping, orchestration, digital workflows, and so forth. The crux, the main core of the data residing in ServiceNow would be the configuration management database, which is CMDB. So here are a set of technology offerings from both the companies aligned in terms of the integrations. So we have security operations with AWS Security Hub, Service Catalog from ServiceNow being integrated with AWS Service Catalog, the ITSM offering on the whole being integrated with AWS Connect, and our recently GA'd ITOM Cloud Insights with AWS Billing. So we're going to do a slight deep dive in each one of these, and you'll get visibility as to what's going on. But just to give you a bird's eye view, the alerts being generated from the Security Hub, AWS Security Hub, are basically desired to be ingested by ServiceNow's ecosystem to go ahead and identify, prioritize, and remediate these security incidents and vulnerabilities that actually reside onto the systems. From a Service Catalog perspective, the connector, which has been actually on the store for well over a year, we came up with a third version in the last 1 month, gives you, the user, the access and basically the privilege to provision, deprovision AWS entities or cloud EC2s or VPCs or EMRs or any other entities residing in the AWS cloud from ServiceNow, being the single pane of glass. So those entities being provisioned will actually reside as CIs on the ServiceNow ecosystem, and based off of that, you can actually leverage the entire service management offering of ServiceNow onto those specific CIs. In terms of Connect, which is our most anticipated integration, you would actually have the leverage of actually calling in and having a dialogue with Lex, and it guiding you towards the resolution, and basically call deflection is basically the desired goal over here. And in terms of the communication that's actually made to the user is conducted through Slack, which we're actually going to go ahead and take a look at. In terms of Cloud Insights, we actually go ahead and the cost optimization is the goal of this specific integration. That actually guides you to actually turn things off, such as during off hours and so forth, and you'll get more visibility to that. So here's where we have a bird's eye view of the AWS Service Catalog offering. You as a user would actually be able to browse the entities that you will be privileged to go ahead and provision. So administrators may actually have may have a certain set of VMs that they can actually go ahead and provision. Operators may have another. Fulfillers may have another. Basically depending on your role. So you would actually have different kinds of VMs that you would be privileged to go ahead and spin up. Step 2 shows that you can actually go ahead and publish and procure those specific VMs onto the cloud using ServiceNow. Step 3 obviously goes and alludes to the fact that you actually make use of those. And any specific issues, events being ingested from those specific entities will make it back to ServiceNow, and you'd be able to leverage the ITSM offering of that. So you can go and create incidents off of those CIs, have PRBs, you can have a patch, a reboot, or a bug being filed against those specific CIs using ServiceNow. Here is the SecOps integration that we actually talked about. So It's pretty enriched in terms of the offerings that we have. We have AWS Config hooked up to this as well, so you can actually assess, audit, and basically evaluate those specific AWS resources to see whether those configurations are actually in accordance to the best practices or not. The events being ingested from AWS Security Hub would actually make it back to SecOps, and in terms of the identification and prioritization of those specific events, you should be able to go ahead and remediate the vulnerabilities and any other issues or security incidents that are actually cropping up of this entire ecosystem. This is, as I mentioned, the most anticipated integration that is actually going to be coming up very soon into the future. So you as a user will be actually going ahead and calling in, and Lex would basically have a phone conversation with you. So you can actually go and say, hey, my Wi-Fi is down, or my password's expired, or actually call about a major incident, and it will actually guide you and tell you that a certain incident has actually already been created. So to avoid duplicate incidents and so forth, it would actually collaborate with you and basically work with you using email, Slack, or any other channel that you go ahead and configure. And then if things don't work out, then obviously you'll be redirected to an agent. I've heard that huge, over 60 to 70% call deflections have resulted in such integrations being in place. So in terms of headcounts and so forth, there's a lot of cost savings that people can actually take into account. Some of the Cloud Insights offerings that we have, as I mentioned, it's very much specific and centric to cost optimization. So RightSizing would actually go ahead and guide you as to what the recommended as to what the recommendations are in terms of getting this entire ecosystem set up. The business hour schedule would actually go ahead and guide you to actually turn things off, or actually would go ahead and automatically do that for you. It actually gives you an analytical dashboard for visibility purposes as to how it has been historically going on and how it's actually going to be going on into the future to give you more foreseeability. So that's basically a bird's eye view as to what the forward integrations look like with ServiceNow and AWS. Some of them are GA'd. They're on the ServiceNow store, specifically the ServiceNow AWS connector. Service Catalog connector is actually up on the store. There are others that will be coming up into our upcoming releases as well. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them. Yeah. What integration are coming up with the base installation?
Or no, how much of those are part of the base ServiceNow catalog, the base ServiceNow offering?
So the Service Catalog, AWS Service Catalog comes along with the product, but the connector is actually going to be another download from off the store. Cloud Insights comes along with ITOM, so that's another vertical offering of ServiceNow. SecOps, Security Operations, is also another vertical. So yeah. Yes. You have a mic right there.
Is the provisioner just CloudFormation for creating resources?
It supports Terraform as well.
Okay.
Yes. Any other questions? Nothing in particular right now? Okay. So I think, is it okay to wrap up? All right, great. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.